When a disaster strikes, you're going to want this to keep you connected. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I picked this up. It's by MAKSH. Looks like MAKSH. MAKSH. And it's a FM, AM, and NOAA emergency radio. And what I really love about these radios is that they are really inexpensive and they give you quite a bit of functionality. And there might be a time when you have no power, and keeping yourself connected to the outside world can be a real challenge. These days, you're streaming from Spotify, using your internet, and man, if the system goes down, cell phone connections are going to be down, maybe the networks are going to be overloaded, maybe the antennas are down. If you're hitting an area with a hurricane, a flood, a wildfire, all those antennas in your area are going to be gone too. And so we take it for granted that there's this network cloud that's always going to be there, and the reality is it can easily not be. And good old-fashioned radio antennas may still be going, and even if they're not going in your area, they may be broadcasting from antennas far away, but you can still pick up those signals. So, first thing we get here is a micro USB cable to charge the sucker up, or potentially pull the energy from the radio to a device that you need. First of all, I will say, man, this is really well made. It's got a heavy-duty plastic here. I love this yellow. A lot of them come in red, green, but yellow is an emergency color, and it really is nice and easy to read. Good contrast with the black printing right there. There's even plastic over the screen, so they care about really sending you a fine product. So first of all, I'm going to tell you that this thing fits in the palm of your hand just like this. It's nice and portable. It's maybe only about 1.5 inches or 1.75 inches thick, and it's pretty light. I mean, it does have some heft here, but it's light in terms of putting it in a backpack, carrying it around. Has a lanyard, a wrist lanyard, so you don't have to worry about losing it if you are on a boat or in weather conditions, as it attaches right there. Here is where we have a USB output. So that cable that I was telling you about can not only be used with a charging block to send power into the device to charge it, but then you can put it in here and charge your cell phone or your other device if you have lightning cable to iOS, those types of things. And so, you know, even if you have this, you might be able to create electricity and send it to the devices that you need. And right on the back here is where you can actually create electricity yourself. We also have a headphone jack there, so you can listen to things without using the speaker, which can be a little lower power, hear a little bit more detail. So one of the things that I really love about this right off the bat is if I flip it over right here and open up the battery compartment, you can see that it comes with a lithium ion battery, an 18650 battery right in here. But you might be able to see right here, we also have some slots for other batteries. You can actually run this off of AAA batteries. So if you have standard batteries around, awesome, you can put those suckers in there, but it comes with this one. Now, I would say that it looks like it runs off of 3 AAA batteries, so you'll need a few of them. But I'm going to put that lithium ion one back in there because such high capacity, it's great, and that it comes with it. Now, on the front right here, though, you have this little toggle switch, and it says AAA right there and lithium ion right there. And that's how you move between the two power sources. So depending on the type of battery, you can move it between there. Now, if I just move this to the lithium ion one, you can see that everything powers up because I have that lithium battery, right? So, all right, so I'm just going to power that off. First of all, I want to show you here that this little switch here says off, but then we have a flashlight as well as an SOS light button. So if I go ahead and just push this forward, you can see right there, I've got a flashlight. So I could use this in an emergency, and then center is off. And then if I pull it all the way down, we get to the SOS. So we get a flashing light as well as a pretty loud alarm right there. Okay, so I'm going to turn that off. All right, so I really love the fact that we have that. Then on the front, we actually have all the radio functions. Now, for some of these radio functions, you might have to pull out this little extendable metal antenna. These were very popular in the 80s when everyone had their own jam boxes, but this is going to extend the range and allow you to pick up signals in various places. And what we have right here is a radio. So I'm going to just go ahead and power it on. You can see that it's on AM right there. I have a volume control right here, and then I tune it right here. So even though it's a digital tuner, I can actually put fine control over it. Now I think we might be able to get something in 600 range.
One thing I will say, it seems, we'll see about this inning, the issues Jake was having.
All right, so we got MLB going on, and again, this is an old school tech, and it's not really as used as much as it once was, but man, you are going to love being able to hear emergency broadcasts, entertainment, those types of things over standard good old radio waves if you really need to. Now, I will show you, I'm going to turn up the volume just a little bit here, and I am going to switch it here to FM. And again, we can tune it here, and let's go up to something. Yeah, so we can get FM radio right there, which is going to be nice. And I tell you what, I'm just going to turn it down there. We also have some preset buttons right here, so you could preset those. Now, I want to go here to the last one, weather band. I'm not sure if we can get weather band where I'm at right here, right now. But I'm just gonna.
This afternoon, waves 2 to 4 feet. Tonight, southeast winds 15 to 25 knots, diminishing to 10 to 20 knots.
All right, so I can get weather band really quickly right here, which is really awesome, especially in emergency situations. You want to know if there's more weather coming, if there's weather coming to put out fires, those types of things. I know for a lot of people who are on boats or live on boats or go out on boats, are going to be out in the ocean, those types of things. I know guys that go out hiking and camping, do long-term survival, those types of things will really benefit from having the weather band because, you kind of take it for granted. You see the 7-day forecast, but if you're out in the middle of nowhere, no internet, you don't necessarily have that, and for your local area you might need to know that a storm is rolling in or the temperatures are going to drop, right? So I love the fact that I have the weather band right there too. That's almost the most important thing to me. Now, the last thing I want to show you here, I'm going to just turn off the radio, is the fact that in a real emergency situation, finding power can always be difficult. And so that's why they build in this handle right here. We have an electric dynamo, so we can create our own electricity by using a little bit of elbow grease. You can see how that handle switches out. We have a little rotating nib right here, so now I can turn this and you can hear it. Now, there is a resistor in here, so you can't overcharge it, I think. So you just kind of want to rotate it so that you can feel the torque, know that you're creating electricity. I think even very slowly it will create electricity. But you actually have to do this a while. Now, the functions on this radio will vary for how much power they draw. Things like a light actually might draw the most amount of power, although LED light bulbs are really efficient. But for running the radio or for running the flashlight, you get a pretty good return. I would say that if you crank this dynamo for about a minute, I wouldn't be surprised if you get 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes of flashlight time. If you crank it for a minute, you might get 10 or 15 minutes of radio time, and then you can also maybe charge up the battery enough to get your phone a little bit of a charge so that you can make that emergency phone call or what have you. And then lastly, the real passive way to charge this little bad boy is this solar panel right in here. It looks like we have a crystalline solar cell right along the top, and if you can see right there, we have a little red LED light that is glowing, which means that the light above me is actually charging this up. So if you want to put this on your table, on a rock, next to your campsite, if you want to put it outside, that should also charge it up. It's going to be a little bit slow. It's kind of like a trickle charge, but again, then you're not spending calories to charge this up. So that's another great way to get this thing powered up. And having something like this is really great, one, because if you were to piecemeal all of these tools together, a radio, a flashlight, a hand crank dynamo, a battery pack, a power bank, those types of things, you'd probably have 5 or 6 devices that might be really expensive and heavy. And you can just get something like this, take it around with you, and know that you have all these tools if you really need it. So I really like this one. Seems super well built. If you want to pick up this MAKSH emergency weather band radio, I highly recommend it. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.